Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the video. And in this one, we're going to be covering mines. And this is like one of the most dreaded maps for light tank players to get. But I'm going to show you how you can kind of make it work. I would much rather be on mines than Himmelsdorf, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think there's a lot more you can do with mines than Himmelsdorf, but we're going to check out mines, and I'm going to show you a very creative play that you can make rather, in the even 90, a position you can take in the even 90. And here you go right here, guys. This bush right here and this bush line, you can try to make this work. The 122 TM actually knew where I was, and this is a great area for trying to spot enemy tank destroyers that are sitting in this area. A lot of people on mines, when they play light tanks, they want to rush the hill. I would encourage you guys to not make this play. I'm a very safe player when it comes to playing light tanks, so maybe it's not the best move for me to say ignore the hill. The hill is very important on this map, and usually when you win the hill, you will win the game just because you have the most shots. And it's very, very easy to poke up because there's bushes. So if you aren't being proxy lit, I should say, by people like that are sitting right around the hill, you can poke up and spot everyone in the back here, or spot everyone in the back here, depending on what spawn you came from. But what I like to do is try and do something a little different, a little more creative, and not as risky, because you always hear me say risk equals reward. But on this map, that's a very risky play, going to the hill. I'm telling you, it's 50-50 every time, and you don't really want to be making 50-50 plays in a light tank because you want to stay alive for the end of the match. You have great mobility. In every single light tank, you have great mobility, great view range, and great concealment in comparison to pretty much every other tank on the map. Maybe in something like huge, like the VK2801, you might not have great concealment, but you guys understand what I'm saying. In general, you're going to have the best mobility, best concealment, and best view range on the map. You know, for every other tank on the map, right? Yours is better than everyone else's, so keep that in mind. You always want to try and stay alive till the end of the game. Now, in this particular game, we've made this play. I wasn't getting any spots from over here, and I get lit exiting, which to me tells me that, I mean, it could be the 122 TM, but likely there's someone else in this area. Maybe there's a light tank here or whatever. The even 90 is here, so or they do have an even 90, I should say, on the enemy team right here, and he hasn't been lit on the map, right? So just something to note, and you never know where this guy could be, right? Even 90s are basically invisible from a distance of more than like 250 meters. Like, no one's ever going to spot them. So what I'm noticing, right, is that the 50 TP is pushing, and we've lost this side of the map. So before we completely lose this side of the map, what I want to do is push into this little ridge line and allow my tank destroyers back here. We really only have a Yag Tiger, but we also have a Progetto and an RHM sitting here who should have shots as these people poke in this area. I'd like to come up to this area and just try and defend it, right? I don't want to get whacked by the 50 TP, but you can stay safe here, and you can spot people that are sitting up in this area, anyone that pushes like this, and I can keep these guys lit here for my team. And that's my goal right now, is to just try and spot these people as they push in. So if you are on the north spawn, if you spawn in the north spawn and you lose the east side, this is a play you can make. It's not great, it's not going to work every time and all, but it's an option, guys. I've made it before, and you just sit here on this ridge line and you poke up and you can spot people that are coming in this way. Now, if you lose the hill, I would suggest maybe not making this play. This is kind of a unique game in the sense that no one really won the hill. The hill was kind of open for most of this game. We were able to light the E4 on fire there, so that was welcome. Always welcome, guys, right? I love to light something on fire or get our ammo rack, and we got one, so hip hip hooray. But we effectively kind of defend this side of the map, and again, it's very important for me to note that hill was not won by either team really in this game. I'm sure a couple people rushed up there, but it was basically never won by any particular team, at least not till the end of this game. I'm not exactly sure how this game pans out. I don't remember. Usually I watch the videos ahead of time, guys, but we'll kind of see how it pans out. It's been like well over a week since I played this game, but I have to keep like noting this, guys, when they own the hill, you're going to get shot from here and you're going to get spotted. And if this is left uncontested, and you don't have someone sitting in this area, light tanks or even mediums or whatever can poke up in these areas. There is like a bush line right here. They can sit and they'll spot this entire thing. And that's why hill is so vital on this map. There are some maps where the middle of the map is not quite as important. On mines, it's very important, and this is why you'll always hear people say, rush the hill, everybody rush the hill. You know, you'll be playing in an LT 432 or whatever, and everyone's going to go LT, go to the center, go to the mid, go to the hill, take the hill. And people will always be saying that because in a way they're right, it's important, but I'm telling you, you don't want to make that risky play if you want consistent games, man. It's just not worth it, because if you don't have a lot of support, then you're not going to have a good time, right, man? Like, it's just not going to work. You're going to die. You can't really retreat from that area effectively, right? You can, but not effectively, and you're going to get wrecked, and you're going to die, and you're going to go boo-hoo, and now I have to play another game in a different tank. We bounce on the even 90 here. I take one from the 122 TM. I'm going to clean up the even 90 because I know the Progetto 46 is on reload. I'm trying to keep him alive, and now we have to defend for our lives. And pretty much it appears that we're going to lose this game, guys. I'm pretty certain now that that's going to be the case. But you can see now how they have taken this area of the map, right? So now they own this, they own this, they own this, they own this, and it's a GG, man, and there's not much we can do. One more play you can make, guys, to try and defend from the west. This is another play you can make, is to sit in this bush. You can spot people that are pushing in. You can try sitting in this bush as well to spot people coming in from the mid, and when everything fails, run to this bush right here and get the heck out of there, man. Just come all the way back. Unfortunately, the Artie is sitting back here and I get him shot, but it's like, at this point, man, this game is over. There's nothing we can do. So I'm going to sit here, try and get as much damage as I possibly can out of this game. I try and take a shot at the CS, it misses. Try and take a shot at the 274A, it bounces, and he rams me, and GG, man. 857 damage, 107 assist. And there's actually another baboon that killed me there, so that's always welcome. I'd rather have someone from baboons kill me. You know, it's like, why not, guys, right? You always want that. You always want someone from your own clan to get the kill. It's kind of like when you're in a sheriff's account. You kind of want someone to get the gold. But anyway, that's about it for mines, guys. Your tank destroyers are obviously going to sit back here. And again, I would suggest that you try and make this side of the map work. You can try this area, but what most light tanks are going to do is sit in this area, or you get good, and you sit in this area of the map. You get creative, and you get aggressive, and you sit right here, because from here you have a good chance at also spotting tank destroyers in the back, and you'll spot someone who pokes this corner, and you can just sit here, right, indefinitely, and obviously until someone comes up into this area, but you can pretty much sit here as long as no one's pressing this area and you're not getting blind fired, and just wait to try and get spots on tank destroyers in the back. And also something to note, guys, is watch for crossfire here. You will have shots at people that sit at this rock right here. They think they're safe. They'll back up a little bit to try and go to side scrape or whatever. And you'll have shots. So even from here, you'll have shots depending on how they're sitting and how the angle looks. But keep that in mind. If you're sitting in this area and you're not really being contested here, watch and look for shots on people's side plates in this area, because you will get them. I'm telling you, there's always someone that comes to this area of the map, so watch for that. Now, why I tell you to try and spot this side of the map is because if you're able to win this side of the map from the north spawn, right? The north spawn. So this is the west. Come over to this area of the map, okay, and you will have even better angles at heavies that are brawling it out here. You come all the way over to here. If you're really, really aggressive, you can come all the way to this area, and you can poke, and there will be heavies to shoot here. I'm telling you, every single game. So that's why it's pretty important to win the west, in my opinion, on this map, at least for the north spawn. For the south spawn, I'd say it's pretty important as well. But if you lose the hill, like this is your only other choice, you have to try and get here and try and clean up any heavies that are sitting in this area, or pull down tank destroyers or whatever, so you can try and get the jump on pushing this area. Hill is very important, guys. Hill is very important, but I'm telling you, sometimes you can get around it by taking the west side of this map, especially from the north spawn, because if you come up here and you're able to eliminate the tank destroyers in this area, and you get creative, you can try and push into here as well, and clean up the tank destroyers that are sitting at the base. However, unless you have a ton of concealment, you're probably going to get lit if someone owns the hill, right? So, whoops, I had hit the space bar to continue our game. But keep in mind, like, if you lose the hill, people are going to have view range everywhere, just depending on where they are. If you're lucky and it's only like one light tank that's on the hill and he's over in the other side, then you might be able to push like this as a light tank and try and take the west. The east is more of a brawling area, but I would say it's not nearly as important to take east. This might differ when you're playing the encounter mode, so I'm not going to say ignore east on encounter mode. But with the east pushing both directions, if you can see here, pushing both directions on mines from the east, it's wide open, and tank destroyers are going to have a lot of shots on you. So that's something to keep in mind. They'll sit in this corner and they'll sit up here, and it's just very difficult, man, to try and make anything work. Now, one other play you can make from the south spawn is to come here early on in the game in a light tank. This is a common place to come for, like, fast mediums will come here and light tanks, and what you can do if you're really fast, is actually get shots on people that are going towards the mid, and you can spot tank destroyers sitting back here and stuff like that, and you can spot anyone that's going to sit at this bush right here, because this is a very common area for people to sit, especially if they're newer players, they're not really quite sure where to go. This is kind of like one of those areas where they're like, alright, I'll have shots this way, I'll have shots this way, and they'll sit right here, and you can spot them and get shots at them. And you can even solid bush here. If you have the gun depression to do it, and you're creative enough, you can make it work. And then eventually you can even try and push this depending on where people are on the map. You really want to have this one and make sure you have hill one, because hill can defend against this. That's another thing I really want to point out. People from the hill will poke this little area right here in the bushes, and they can spot you poking up. So you do not want that to happen. Always, always, guys, on mines, understand where the angles are and understand who has the hill. In the video I just did on Berlin, I told you to watch out for the angles, but on mines you have to always be paying attention to who has the hill, because people will be able to poke this like this, and they'll have shots on you right here, and they can even outspot you. I'm telling you, it's happened to me before. Be careful, guys. Always, always watch the hill and watch who has it currently, right? If it's being contested, that's fine, but just whoever owns the hill, always keep an eye on it. So if you have the hill, then you know what plays you can make. If you don't have the hill, you know where you have to be careful on the map, because the hill is so important on this map. But I'm telling you, I have won games on this map before. It's rare, but I've won games on this map where the hill was never won by my team, and we somehow made it work. But yeah, I have to say, guys, on this map, the mid is so important, and you won't hear me say that on every map, but always be paying attention to it, guys. Always, always, always. If there's anything you take from this video, if there's only one thing you take from this video, watch the hill on mines. Always. Okay, just watch out for it. Other than that, guys, I think that's pretty much it. We've talked about west, we've talked about east, we've talked about both spawns, we've talked about the oh crap area to go on the map. It's over here for this spawn, and over here I would say just go back to this corner on this spawn where the arties sit, or you can try and sit back in this area like where the tank destroyers sit, and that's basically your oh no, I need to get as much damage as possible before the game ends, and you're going to go there. You can also try and take this angle, go behind this rock. Arties like to go out here. This area right here is okay, you can get certain angles, but I think this one's better towards the end game. After getting YOLO'd, you saw what happened to us there. We could have gotten a couple shots off, but we missed one shot, and then the two, whatever the tank was that was YOLOing me, man, like the armor is just really trollish on that vehicle, so pretty challenging to pen that tank. I think that's it, guys. I think that's all I want to cover on this map. I'm just looking at the map and trying to decide if there's anything else I want to go over. Again, west, it's very important to take west, especially from this spawn, because I'm telling you, you'll have the angle going at all the heavies here. That isn't really the case on this side of the map because of the way the rocks are here. So again, this is another one of those imbalances of the map. You have to be like all the way out here to take shots at people over here. You can get like all the way over here. You might have an angle targeting someone that might be sitting in this area, because sometimes people like to sit by this rock right here. From this spawn, they'll sit right here and they'll try and take shots. And something else you can also do is rush the mid with a light tank at the beginning of the game. This isn't a play. I'm not saying go to the hill, but I'm saying rush mid in a light tank. And what you can do, especially if you have high pen HE shells like the Hawk 30 does, you can sit right here and wait for other light tanks or mediums that have no armor. Wait for them to rush the hill and get side shots into them. You can take like 2 of those and then just be GTFO, right? From that rock. And it's the same for this rock right here. You take 1 or 2 shots at people that are rushing and GTFO, right? So I think that's all the plays I want to cover, guys, and everything that I can tell you about mines. But again, I would say from this spawn especially, west is pretty important, and I would encourage you, if you're just not sure what to do, you can try and make this play, take a couple shots, and then try and go west, sit in these bushes here, try and get to here maybe, watch out for someone that might be sitting here, and try and push this area of the map if you can as the game progresses, because it's a good way to get the back shots going at the heavies, and to also outspot the TDs sitting in this area. I think that's all, guys. I think that's all. From the opposite spawn, try this position out. You can try rushing here, but you can also try rushing to this area and try this position out. However, it's easy to get YOLO'd here. The only other spot you can come from the other spawn in a light tank is to try and come here, but it's harder to push north to south, in my opinion, on this map. Right? Did I say that right? South to north. It's harder to push south to north on this map than it is to push north to south, in my opinion, guys. So keep that in mind. That's all for mines, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Again, not a spectacular game for me, but again, these videos are all about map awareness, map strategy, and telling you guys where to go and what to look out for. Hope you enjoy, guys. If you aren't subbed to the channel, do subscribe. It really, really helps me out, guys. Truly. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs. I'm hoping to eventually get there. And I think we will if I just keep at it. But any support you guys can give me is really helpful. Give a thumbs up. Any questions, do let me know, guys, and I will catch you for the next video. So take care of yourselves, and bye-bye.